Hey, it's Chris, and if you like your onion rings this crispy, then stick around because I'm going to show you how to prepare them at home and give you a few tips and secrets along the way. The process of making an onion ring is fairly straightforward, right? You coat them in breading or a batter like we will and fry them in oil. But there are a few ingredients that you can kind of take things to the next level, so I'll walk you through it right now. So, of course, you need an onion. But what kind of onion does make a difference, right? Use a sweet onion. They'll give you the best tasting onion ring. Vidalia onions are the best sweet onions, and that's what I'm going to use here. So peel the outer skin of the onion and slice it into thirds like me, or if you wanted them a little bit smaller, you can go with 4 slices, but I kind of like a big fat onion ring, you know? You want to avoid using the outer part of the onion because you can see how floppy it is, right? Just go ahead and discard that. You want the slices to have a nice firm texture, so most of the onion will be fine, just not that outer layer. Also, when you're separating these guys into rings, get rid of that thin little paper membrane too. It should just peel right off. This one Vidalia onion gave us plenty of rings, like easily enough for 2 to 3 people. This recipe I'm going to show you though is enough for 2 onions. So of course we're going to fry these, but don't think you need like 12 cups of oil. You're not filling up your pot here. You don't need a lot. 3 cups is all I used. And you can see I use my big Dutch oven here. 3 cups is plenty. And I use canola oil, but you could use vegetable oil or peanut oil would fry these up real nice too. So next we want to treat our onion rings. And we're going to use a Ziploc bag and just kind of give them a dusting and a little bit of seasoning at the same time before we make our batter. You could put these in a big bowl of ice water, but we're making these and frying these right away, so it's not going to make that big of a difference. But if you were slicing your onions ahead of time, I'd definitely go with a big bowl of ice water and keep them in there for a while. So let's treat our onions first with a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And to the cornstarch, we're actually going to add a little bit of baking powder, a pinch of kosher salt, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. I think it's easiest is just kind of take that, and you honestly don't even need the bowl. You could just put it in the bag as you make it. Then take your onion rings, put them in there, seal it up, just so it doesn't make a mess, and give it a good shake. So I made these onion rings for my barbecue burger video. So if you're coming from that video to check out these onion rings, thanks for stopping by. If you didn't know, I've been doing a Burger of the Week series over on YouTube Shorts. So if you're looking for a little inspiration or a few different ways to do burgers this summer, each week I get a fresh idea on my Shorts feed. Okay, these onions got the pre-treatment. Now let's make the batter. We're gonna start with the dry ingredients, which is a 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Whisk that together here really quick. And then our seasonings. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And 1/2 tablespoon each of smoked paprika. Celery seed. Garlic powder and onion powder. And then again, we'll give that a whisk. Whisk all the dry ingredients together. And grab a pinch of salt here. Mix that up. Okay, and then to the dry ingredients, once they're nice and well combined, 1/4 cup of water, and a 1/2 cup of vodka. So there it is, the secret ingredient. This helps things get super crispy. So think of it like this. The batter is wet when it goes into the deep fryer, right? So as it cooks, the water dissolves over time and you're left with the stuff that'll turn crunchy in the batter. But since we didn't use as much water and we replaced it with vodka, vodka being alcohol will just evaporate faster than water. So when this hits the hot oil, it just goes away a lot faster, leaving more time for the flour, the cornstarch, and the seasonings all to get crispy. The next ingredient is both water and alcohol, but it brings a lot of flavor to the mix too. 1/4 cup of beer. So vodka because it evaporates quickly, beer for flavor, our spice blend, the garlic, the onion powder, the smoked paprika, the celery salt, all those things just makes the onion ring taste so good. You won't even need a dipping sauce. But I mean, they're onion rings, right? You gotta have a dipping sauce. But trust me, they're gonna taste good without one. Let me know in the comments, by the way, what do you like to dip your onion rings in? Ranch? Are you a ketchup person? Do you like mustard? So this isn't a thick batter, right? It's pretty loose. But since we dusted our onion rings in the bag, this batter is just going to stick right to them. When your oil is all ready, 375, go ahead and dunk an onion ring into the batter and make sure it's nice and coated. Let the excess strip off and carefully place it in the oil. I like to do a test onion ring first. I can make sure the oil is good and get a feel for how long they'll take, which should be about 3 to 4 minutes, and you want to work in batches, right? You don't want to overcrowd the pan. Before putting in the next batch, make sure your oil temperature is right. Check your thermometer because after cooking a batch, the oil temperature probably came down, so you want to make sure it comes back up to 375 before adding in a new batch. Drain the onion rings on paper towel and hit them with salt as soon as they're out of the fryer. As you can see, this made plenty of onion rings with just one onion. Serve them with beer and your favorite dipping sauce. With these onion rings, I recommend something like a little spicy, so I just went with some hot mustard. Just to give you a little audio of the crunch, a little hot mustard. Nice and crispy, guaranteed. Thanks for watching Cooking with Chris. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already because more cooking videos coming soon. Oh man, a crunch.